Alright, welcome to Gamers Station, and let's kickstart this new season off with 2 games. That's right, not 1 but 2 games. But okay, I'm gonna be honest, it's actually 2 by the same developer and they've been released relatively recently. One is Tales from the Borderlands and the other one is Game of Thrones, both a Telltale game series. That's right, Telltale has released both of these games, and if you've been a fan of Telltale games, then you know what they're all about. Basically, they're adventure games which are extensions of other media. Sometimes it's other games, sometimes it's books, sometimes it's TV shows. So for example, Telltale did the Walking Dead gaming series, and they also did A Wolf Among Us. So they've come up with 2 ones, one based on Borderlands, the video games, right? So that's sort of an extension of the Borderlands games, and of course Game of Thrones, the ever popular TV series, which is kind of not safe for work, and we get to see these games from another perspective. That's what they're all about. So are the games good? Well, we'll have to wait and see.
My sister asked you to swear loyalty to her son, and you flat out refused.
We can't let them hurt Ryan too. We have to stop them.
We do not stand alone.
Is there some sort of radiation leak I don't know about? What is happening right now?
I ask the questions.
Do you mind asking yourself what you're doing?
Alright, so how do these games actually play? Well, they're generally point and click, which means you use your mouse and go to things. But these games are actually multi-platform. You got them on your consoles, or the PlayStation and the Xboxes, and you've got them on the PS Vita and, of course, all the PCs out there. So it's very accessible, these games, so you can play it on whatever you want, but generally they all play the same. Because it's a simple point and click game, or generally some very basic controls, it doesn't actually matter too much which platform you're playing on. Now, how it actually plays is it will bring you through the storyline as you follow 1 or 2 characters as you go through the games, both Tales from the Borderlands and the Game of Thrones games. And generally, as you go along, there will be some quick time events, which means when something happens, you got to react in a certain way. Maybe you got to move to the left, jump up and down. Sometimes you got to click on something or select something. And there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of dialogue options. The big focus of the game is choice. So you're going to be presented with a lot of situations in both of these games where you don't really know what is the correct answer. And sometimes there really is no correct answer. The whole point of the game is kind of like a social experiment where you have to kind of decide, should you help this guy or help this guy, or should you not help this guy at all? Or it'll give you all these options for you to choose from, and it basically has a time limit. So maybe it'll only give you 10 seconds or 15 seconds to make the choice. So it really sort of tests who you are as a person as you play through this game. And I say it's kind of like a social experiment because each of the, when the episode ends, each of these games are released in series of episodes. When the episode ends, it'll actually show you other players chose this, or a percentage of players chose this. So as you go through Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones, you're going to be able to find out how other people played their game. And that's generally how the game's going to play out. Now, I have to mention the aesthetic of the game, the way the game looks and the way the game feels, is all very comic book-esque. And that's kind of Telltale's signature. They did it with all their previous games of this nature, and they're doing it with these 2 games as well. So it works really well with the Borderlands game. The Tales from the Borderlands, the original Borderlands game already had the sort of cel-shaded cartoony game sort of feel, but the Game of Thrones, it does feel a little awkward seeing all your favorite characters and the whole Game of Thrones universe set in a comic book style. So some of you might like that, some of you may not. But on note on the Game of Thrones one, from the books, they have the books, Game of Thrones, and they have the TV series. Now, what they've started to do is in the TV series, they started to include things which are not in the book, because the author, George R.R. Martin, has told the TV guys what they should be putting in, and they're putting in extra content that you can't find in the books. So I have a feeling that the game is going to have things which are not in the books or the TV series, which means to get the full Game of Thrones experience, you're going to have to play this game. So if you are a fan of Game of Thrones, then you're definitely going to want to get this one.
Kill them all! Don't shoot my face!
You lost the money?
In a neighborhood of Fat Planet nut jobs.
Once we found it, we can talk about who gets what and how much.
My family will suffer if Ramsay is left to do as he likes.
We can handle Ramsay Snow. He doesn't scare me.
These are hard times. The only way to solve our problems is with iron and steel.
So, are you gonna want to get these games, both of them? Well, if you've been a fan of Telltale games before, like The Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us, then I probably don't even have to tell you to get these games. They're just absolutely amazing. Though the themes are somewhat different. These two particular ones are, well, might be considered a little bit more violent than the previous ones. So, but then again, Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us aren't particularly safe for work, really. So, you're gonna like the games if you like Telltale games. But if you haven't played any previous Telltale games, then you might want to consider these games if you're into the adventure genre, if you're really into character-driven stories, world environments, character building and development and all that sort of stuff, and the really complex moral gray area choices that you have to make. If you're really into that, then you're gonna love these games. But if you're looking for a first-person shoot 'em up, then you're probably not gonna find what you want here, though there is still a little bit of shooting in Tales from Borderlands. But in general, they're both very, very well produced, but the big thing you have to understand is that these games are gonna be episodic, which means once you buy the game, right now you're only gonna get episode 1. And the rest of the episodes, which are up to episode 5, will be released throughout 2015 and maybe even 2016. We can't confirm so early. So once you buy the game, you do get all the episodes, but you don't get to play them all at once. You gotta wait. So if you don't want to play the game and not finish the story completely, then you might want to wait until the end of the year and then just buy them all in one shot. But in general, they're very, very good and you should definitely check them out.
Prevent that from happening. Wouldn't you?
Once we found it, we can talk about who gets what and how much.
We're not vault hunters.
Really?
Alas, we're at the end of another episode of Gadget Nation, but it's the start of a brand new season, which means we'll be back same time, same place next week to keep you updated on everything in the world of technology and much, much more. But, of course, I'd like to take this opportunity to once again wish you a very, very happy 2015. Let's hope it's a good one for you and everybody that you know. And also a big thanks to the Mind 21 here in Ampang for hosting us. We'll be back. My name is Adam Carruthers. Till next time.